Well, if you look at his numbers after he became the starter late in the season and then into the playoffs, he was basically an 18, 5 and 5 guy with near 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. So I think if he can, do that over the course of a full season, to me, he fits that profile of a guy who can win most improved player. Because a lot of times, as you said, it's a guy goes from like a backup to a starter, or he changes teams or whatever. But with Austin, it was kind of like he had been playing and was in the rotation, but all of a sudden the Lakers kind of realized like this guy's too good to come off the bench. And yes, we like him in this energy role, and he comes in, plays 20, 25 minutes a night, but like he's our third best player and we need to start this guy, and he needs to be playing 30 plus minutes a night. So I do think his reputation kind of preceded him, and he was already viewed as a cornerstone of the Lakers. And just because being the token white guy on the Lakers, I mean, we remember it with Alex Caruso. Like, I think he was already getting probably hype that was premature to an extent. But once he got that starting role, again, 18, 5 and 5, 50, 40, 90, like he was an elite scorer from an efficiency standpoint. And he really stepped up as the Lakers' third best player, like clear cut during that Western Conference Finals run. And even in some of those Denver games, LeBron was out of gas. He was missing shots. Anthony Davis had a big game one and then was kind of quiet offensively the rest of the series. Austin Reeves was the guy who was hitting dagger threes to keep the Lakers in the mix and making big plays down the stretch to make those games competitive. So I think he's on Team USA now. Again, looking at that situation, like he was probably, a lot of people thought he wasn't going to play, didn't deserve to be on the roster. He's already emerged in the top 7 or 8 of Team USA, is one of their top backup guards. So I think he's another guy who just, if he continues to grow the way that he's grown over his first couple years, could he be a 25 and 6 guy? Could he continue to shoot 50, 40, 90 on higher volume? Like, I think it's all possible.
Yeah, I really like Cam Young. That was the first bet that I made this week, the 50 to 1s that were out there. He's starting to do what he did really well again, which was drive the golf ball, a great tee to green, strokes gained total, gained over 10 strokes at the Open Championship. I am totally able, and as a golf bettor, you have to convince yourself of things, to bet a guy, to not bet a guy, to double down on a thought or to ignore it. His miscut out of the Open, like, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. He was at the Open. You could argue his level of contention, but very few players actually felt like they were contending. So it's a total write-off for me. He's gaining strokes with the putter, despite the fact that you see him miss so many putts on TV. But that's because he's got so many 12-footers. Like, as many as almost anybody other than Scottie Scheffler. We need him to hit more of them, no doubt. But I very much am in on Cam Young. This has been a course that guys have gotten off the mat at. Like, Finau was a never winner this first leg of the FedEx Cup. But Zalatoris here last year as a never winner. I think this could be a perfect place for Cam Young to sort of snap it finally.
Yeah, 20 to 1.
All right.
Hell yeah.
New York is 2 parts here because you got a lot of teams just like LA when we talked about this yesterday. And this one is...
Here's where I'll agree with your last take.
Think of where we're about to go with this one right here. The teams I'm about to throw that you're in front of me. The Jets, 17 to 1 to win a Super Bowl, or the Yankees at 80 to 1 to win a World Series. That is an easy answer. And who is more likely to bring a championship to New York first? And it's the New York Football Jets.
Yeah, which is crazy to say.
Crazy to say.
Did you ever
that.
think that you would be saying that the Jets have a better chance to win a championship than the Yankees? I mean, and I agree, man. And here's where I agree. I'd rather play, even though the price sucks now. Like, I told everybody to bet the Jets when it was even 25 to 1 before Rodgers was there. Now it's 17 to 1. I'd still rather bet them than the Yankees. The Yankees rely so much on Aaron Judge, who's not healthy. I don't love the rotation. I faded the Yankees all season, coming into the season. Now, unfortunately, I did bet Tampa Bay. Wish I would have bet Baltimore, especially when they were 150 to 1 just to win the division. I didn't. But I agree. I think the Jets live up to the hype. And I think they're going to be really good. I think they're going to be a 12, 13-win team. I'm with you.
You're not biased at all. Not even slightly. Aaron Rodgers biased
not even
at all.
because of Rodgers, though. Like, that defense. If they had anybody last year, quarterback in that team, they win 10 games.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, Mike White's a fun story, and I do love him as a backup in Miami, especially if Tua doesn't stay healthy. I think he could win you some games. But Zach Wilson was awful. Chris Streveler just got cut. Who else started? Oh, Thunder Joe. Love him, Super Bowl champion. He is elite, by the way. But
Man,
come on now, it's 2023.
I miss Joe Flacco. I'm going to miss Joe Flacco overs on
Flacco
passing
so
attempts
much,
every single week.
It's just one of those sort of, hey, Philly's added an all-star starter.
Smirking over there. Look at this. Look at
Okay.
this
I'm
jerk Philly fan over there smirking. You're supposed to be the nice one from Philly.
You're just not friendly.
I'm just not. You're right. I'm not friendly right now.
Would you rather
Would I
have
rather
watched a- yes,
not
of
talk about
course.
this anymore? How about that?
Yes, would you rather just move on? Let's do a little NFL in the time we have remaining. Would you rather, Ryan, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, Offensive Player of the Year at 11-1, or Jalen Hurts MVP, also at 11-1?
This is a really good question.
This is great.
Thank you, Dylan.
Really good question. Jamar Chase would be my answer, but Trevor Siemian might be throwing him the football the first couple weeks of the season. I think Joe Burrow is going to be ready for week 1. I don't care what anybody says, but I would go actually same price, Jalen Hurts, MVP, just because I already played Garrett Wilson Offensive Player of the Year, and there's just so many talented wide receivers. Like I know Devontae Adams doesn't have a quarterback. I know Cooper Kupp's coming off a devastating injury, but they could have monster years. Not that the quarterback position isn't loaded. Guys like Justin Herbert are going to have monster years, but Jalen was going to be the MVP last season. He just got hurt. And we saw what that offense looked like without him. So I don't want to hear the system quarterback crap anymore. He's the real deal. So if he stays healthy, I mean, man, like my team, I can't get it out of my head what he did to the Packers that Sunday night. And then they took their foot off the gas, thank God. I thought he was going to rush for 350 yards and throw for another 300. So I'd go Jalen MVP 11-1.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take Chase as Offensive Player of the Year simply because so that's become more of like the wide receiver award while the MVP has become the quarterback award. The thing here is that I think Joe Burrow is going to be ready for week 1. But 2, that offense has a ton of firepower, and you also have other receivers that can take away the attention from Jamar Chase. As great as Jalen Hurts was last year, there's a lot of quarterbacks that could have even better seasons this year, whether it's than him or just anybody else. Like, does Jalen Hurts take that next step where a Trevor Lawrence could maybe do that, where Justin Herbert maybe get... Look, you had a dream that Justin Herbert was going to win MVP. So
I did.
I don't know why you're going any other direction besides that. So I'm going to follow your dream here, and I'm going to bet Justin Herbert to win MVP, and I would take Jamar Chase there at 11-1 to end up winning Offensive Player of the Year. They gave it to Justin Jefferson. It's Jamar Chase's time. It's a wide receiver award right there. And we know the chemistry that you've got with Joe Burrow, and another year in that offense with those guys together, when they could be even better, the offensive line is at least on paper improved there. Give me that, but it's tough either way. So for both of them, I mean, there's a chance both of them end up winning. It's BetMGM the night.